Good afternoon. It's September 10th, 2:58 p.m., and we've got a developing, potentially tragic story coming out of the state of Utah, where it's now been reported and confirmed that Charlie Kirk of Turning Point USA has been shot during one of his events, his famous college campus events. We've got some video of the moments, not certainly the graphic videos that apparently some people have seen and have passed around. I assure you, we're not going to be showing you any of that, but we wanted to jump online and go live as soon as we saw the confirmation that he has been shot and hospitalized, because we wanted to share the news with you, and we also sort of wanted to share fellowship, prayer, and community with you, our audience, our subscribers, and our family here on this channel, because this is obviously a horrific developing story. We want to deliver as much information as we can for you, and we want to interact with you so that you can sort of express your opinion, feelings, and emotions about this terrible, terrible occurrence. First, let's go straight to Fox News on how they reported the story just moments ago. Take a look.
I just started getting word just a couple of moments ago that Charlie Kirk has been shot. We have very few details so far coming in on this. We're dependent on witnesses at Utah Valley University. And he was speaking in front of a crowd. And in that moment, and correct me if I'm wrong, he was speaking about obviously trans issues in the country today, when a shot or shots rang out. And we can now confirm via Jason Chaffetz, who was at the event at Utah Valley University, that shots rang out as Charlie was talking about transgender mass shootings. Per Jason Chaffetz, a witness there, says he can't say that he saw blood, but he saw him get, he can't say also that he saw him get shot, but he did hear the gunshot ring out, and he was watching Charlie, and then he fell back and to the left.
Yeah, in fact, there are eyewitness reports, and there are still images circulating right now that suggest that Charlie was shot in the neck while he was engaged in one of the classic Q&As that he does at these Turning Point USA college campus events. These events have become a phenomenon on college campuses, actually. The turnouts have been amazing, absolutely remarkable and stunning, in fact. This is an incredible video of Charlie taken by one of the staff members of Turning Point USA, as you can see, throwing TPUSA and MAGA hats into the crowd. The crowd numbers are huge. Charlie's organization has been instrumental in building a youth movement in the conservative political arena, and he has been fearless in going to these college campuses and confronting and being confronted by hostile students, but also, as you can see from the crowd size there, as the years have gone by, the hostility from these college students has actually been squelched by the overwhelming, enthusiastic supporters of the conservative movement. Many people looking back at the 2024 presidential election would suggest that Charlie was instrumental in building the youth movement that buoyed Donald Trump and J.D. Vance's campaign to such an extreme level. Charlie Kirk, again, has been shot. He is hospitalized. That's the latest news that we have. Eyewitnesses of the event, though, suggest that it is a very serious injury. And, of course, Charlie and his wife and his entire family are in our prayers right now. We want to show you as much as we can about Charlie and what he was doing right before this event, as you saw. As you can see from this video, here's another image of Charlie Kirk throwing out those hats to the crowd joyfully and enthusiastically. We also have footage of the suspect. The suspect in this attack, this is, according to eyewitness accounts, this is the man who was detained immediately after the shooting. He looks to be a man in his 50s, 60s, I would say. And he is certainly being detained by police officers right there on campus. we're told, based on reports, that this is the suspect in the shooting. This is a developing story, and we're getting information as we speak. But we wanted to jump on board and touch base with you. And as you can see from our scroll, make sure, excuse me, I picked the wrong one to throw up there. We want to share our prayers right now for Charlie and his family. Kevin, if you want to jump in here and share so Kevin, you've seen the latest video of this, and you go ahead and tell me what your opinion is of this.
Well, I would encourage people not to go looking for video. There's a lot of different angles out there, and it's too soon to make any determinations. But
based on your observation, this is as serious as it can get.
This is extremely serious, and we should be storming the gates of heaven for prayers for Charlie Kirk and his family.
Charlie is a colleague of ours, by the way, at the Salem Network. Salem, of course, Salem Media owns Town Hall and Salem Radio Network and the Salem Podcast Network. And Charlie's radio show and podcast are distributed and presented by Salem. So he's our brother in Christ, and he's our brother in this fight for what we believe in. And he's our colleague here at Salem as well. So this hits home in ways unimaginable. Senator Mike Lee, also from Utah, sent this message out immediately. I'm sorry, my phone is blowing up right now as we speak. So if you hear vibrations, that's why. This is Charlie and his wife and his 2 children. His wife often accompanies him on the stage for his events. In fact, he just had one of his huge events, I think just about 10 days ago. Now, these events that he does, usually 3 or 4 a year, have become spectacular, huge draws. And people have to understand about Charlie Kirk that I never forget the first time I interviewed him at one of the CPAC events, and we shared a common bond because neither of us went to college. And I'll be honest with you, I think that both of us sort of still have a little bit of a stigma about it. And he shouldn't. Charlie is very smart, and Charlie is great at engaging. It takes a real intelligence, not book learning, but actual human intelligence and an understanding of the ways of the world and a great mastery of the language to be able to engage in a back and forth the way Charlie does, with a grasp of facts and knowledge and the principles and values that the conservative movement stands for. And he was inspired by Andrew Breitbart, in fact, as I was as well. And but you have to understand that Charlie, without going to college, just a true believer in conservative principles and pushing back against the Obama left-wing political agenda, the Marxism of this country, created a monster, a phenomenal movement that is now Turning Point USA out of nothing. But he believed in himself and believed. I should not talk in past tense, and I apologize. I'm talking in past tense just in terms of Charlie at the time when he created Turning Point USA. Please forgive me. He had such a strong belief in what he was doing that it was impossible not to be drawn to his convictions and his movement that he created. And it has, well, he cites Donald Trump Jr. and J.D. Vance as some of his closest allies right now. He travels with them around the country, and he has been asked into the inner circles of the highest levels of power in the United States. Also, with that kind of influence comes many detractors and many political enemies who hate everything that Charlie has stood for and hate everything that Charlie has been able to accomplish. Just this week, in speaking out about the murder of the young woman, the Ukrainian refugee on the Charlotte light rail train, he was accused of racism by Van Jones on the CNN network, by multiple individuals across broadcast media and legacy media who claimed that Charlie was acting with racial animus because he pointed out the obvious fact that the murderer in Charlotte was allowed to walk free after 14 arrests because of the radical Black Lives Matter, CRT, restorative justice policies of the left in this country. And so, of course, right up until today, they've been deriding him and slandering him and defaming him and sliming his name. And now, if you're just joining our live stream, just about 40 minutes ago, I think now, maybe 30 minutes ago, reports came in from the Utah Valley University, where Charlie was holding one of his huge rallies for young college students. And let me give you another quick image of what the crowd looked like there. During the event, when he was engaged in question and answer with the crowd and speaking about the news of the day, he was actually engaged in a conversation about the trend of transgender mass shooters in this country. When during that event, shots rang out. In fact, we do have again. I'm not going to show you anything graphic. If you've come here for some sort of graphic, bloody video, you're on the wrong stream. Go somewhere else. That's not what we're doing here. But let me give you. There was a new media outlet YouTube channel called KMMU. Is it Cruising Maine? This is a campus video squad, I think, at Utah Valley University, and they were engaging in conversations with some of the college students that were participating in this event when the shots rang out. I want to show you some of this, and we can watch it together.
Closer, are they like restricting you guys up here or what?
It's just there's just so much.
Before we had a flag and we had it. So
Holy shit! Holy shit!
All right, now obviously that was the moment when the shots rang out. And again, the stage where Charlie was down on the campus quad there, but you can see the mass of humanity that came out for this event. And now you're going to see, I'm going to turn the volume down so I can talk over it. You're going to see the crowd obviously sheltering in place and dispersing for their own safety. That tent right there is where Charlie Kirk was sitting when he was shot. And now what you'll see here from this vantage point is the cameraman and the people working with and right there on the rooftop had a pretty good vantage point of the event and the aftermath. And I'm going to fast forward now as the campus dispersed here to some of the footage that they were able to capture and what some of the eyewitnesses saw there. Let me move forward. Now, at this point, obviously, Charlie Kirk had already been evacuated from the scene and sent directly to the hospital where he was being treated and is still being treated as far as we know. And I want to bring the volume up so you can hear sort of what the people who had witnessed the aftermath had to say. Let me move forward to that part of the video here. Kevin, you said 23?
Yeah, 23 minutes.
Thanks.
Just by the structure thing. Bridge is on the other true thing. It was on the other true thing.
Did you hear that he got hit for sure? My son here told
He's
me
either
that.
hit in the neck or the chest.
Yeah.
I've heard
chest.
mostly the neck, but I've heard chest a couple times.
It was one of the. I talked to one of the officers. He said he got hit hard. I just pray it's in his shoulder. Yeah. Jeez. That's almost like it was set up because the the second speaker was the one talking about guns. And then the next thing you know,
Yeah, that must be.
you know what I mean?
Yeah, that does sound fishy.
He's a close friend of my brother's.
Where's the Sorensen Center, Liam?
All right. This video has got a lot of herky jerk to it. Let me bring you to Jason Chaffetz, former congressman from Utah, who was on the scene. And of course, now he's a Fox News commentator, and he describes exactly what he saw.
Jason, we were reading some of your social media posts. You were there. You witnessed this. What happened?
Well, there's, it's a good crowd. A lot of people were chanting his name. I was there. My daughter was there. Son-in-law's there. My wife was there. I mean, Charlie Kirk coming to town. We were excited, and people were there, and there were lots of them. And he came out. He was throwing hats, riling up the crowd. He took his first question, which was, I have to catch my breath trying to run into the house here. He took a first question, which was a religious question. And then he got to the second question, which was about 30 minutes into his presentation, 2:30 local time. And the question was about transgender shooters, mass killings, versus people that weren't transgender. And when that happened, when that question came out, and he's going to have the interaction, one shot. I was watching Charlie. I can't say that I saw blood. I can't say that I saw him get hit, but I did see him fall immediately backwards into his left. And I can just hope and pray that somehow he survived that.
Oh my God, we're all praying. He's married to his.
Yeah, we are all praying. And that's why we're doing this live stream, by the way, so that we can all pray together. And I hope that you are taking that opportunity so that we can be together during this moment as we continue to get more news about this. But we don't have any update other than Charlie Kirk has been shot at Utah Valley University in front of a huge throng, as we've grown accustomed now at these Turning Point USA events. He has been taken to hospital based on eyewitness accounts and based on video footage of the incident. It could not be more serious right now in terms of the injury that it appears Charlie Kirk has sustained. So we ask for your prayers, please, for our brother. Please, we believe in prayer. We believe in the power of prayer. We believe in the intercession of our Lord. And I know Charlie does. And if there is a way to save him, if there is a way to make this fine young man, this husband, this father, get through this, please, Lord, we ask that you protect him and that you guide him to whatever safety and healing that you can provide to him right now, because this is wrong. He did not deserve this. Sorry. President Trump has put out a statement saying we must all pray for Charlie Kirk, who has been shot, a great guy from top to bottom. God bless him. I part of me hates to do this, but also part of me wants to honor Charlie and everything he stands for and everything he fought for by showing you what the lunatic left has already begun saying about this man. And I'm not talking about some anonymous randos on social media who hide behind pseudonyms and say the most awful things that anybody could possibly say about a person who is facing this critical situation. No, I'm talking about freaking CNN, who cannot report a story like this without letting their vile hatred show. As captured by Newsbusters here, Media Research Center, here's the CNN description of Charlie Kirk.
He's also a controversial figure at times. He goes into these various college campuses, pushes conservative issues, gets into heated back and forth often with these students on these college campuses. But of course, none of that is violent.
Yeah, thank you for that last qualification there. But do you hear the tone that they put out there? Well, you know, he gets into these heated confrontations on college campuses, so he's sort of asking for it. These people are the worst. MSNBC, by the way, no better, of course.
This happens, in which a shooting like this happens.
Yeah, and again, to emphasize what you just emphasized, we don't know any of the full details of this. That we don't know if this was a supporter shooting their gun off in celebration, or so we have no idea about.
Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? Well, by the way, I love that. I hope you noticed that we are being as responsible and disciplined and conservative and judicious as possible with any proclamations about what occurred here. We are not speculating. We're not assigning any potential motives to the lunatic who did this, other than, yes, I'll call him a lunatic. All we know is that this is the man who has been detained. And here's MSNBC with their freaking peacock brand for NBC News sitting there saying, well, you know, we don't know, but hey, it could have been one of his supporters. After all, those conservative gun nuts, those yahoos will just start shooting their guns in celebration. And who knows? Bullet just accidentally goes into Charlie Kirk. These people have no sense of decency. There's no responsibility. And again, part of me is sorry for bringing this to you, but Charlie, frankly, would want this. Charlie would walk toward the fire. Charlie brings this out in people because he confronts them with their own hatred. And so, of course, MSNBC does this. Oh, there's more. Hang on. More from MSNBC. God, they just cannot help themselves. Here we go. Stand by.
Because as we were just talking about a moment ago with Alan, after one of the Doge employees was allegedly attacked in Washington, D.C., that's what Donald Trump used as a justification to send in federal troops into Washington, D.C. to get things under control. The carjacking situation, he used that. And I know it's hard to predict the future, Mark, but you can imagine the administration using this as a justification for something.
I must admit, I'm at a loss to guess as to what happens next. But Kirk,
and shut the hell up. This is why we have cable news, so that people can go on there and guess what will happen next and speculate about how, well, you know, Trump, he'll just use this for some political purpose. They cannot help themselves. Their vile, despicable hatred, less than an hour after Charlie Kirk's been shot in cold blood, an assassination attempt, as he lies in hospital and gets treated, all they can do is focus on, well, let's see what Trump is going to use this for his own political purposes. They are everything. They are everything that they accuse us of being. This is the most vile, hate-filled group of people you will ever see. This left-wing legacy media who cannot allow this moment to just stand where they just report the facts. And if they don't have facts, then just stop for a second and do what we're doing and ask for prayers for this young man, this patriot, and for his young children. It's despicable. And I'm sorry, but I've got more from MSNBC. We'll go back to Reset and give you more details of what we know and what we don't know. We're not engaged in speculation, but MSNBC cannot report on this without in some way insinuating to their audience that Charlie Kirk, sort of deserves a violent attack. Watch, you judge for yourself about the tone and tenor they're using here.
Yeah, we're showing, by the way, our affiliate in Utah and the aftermath of the shooting. You could see people running away pretty quickly, as you would imagine they would do at gunshots. The FBI director, Kash Patel, has weighed in on this. He just tweeted the following: "We're closely monitoring reports of the tragic shooting involving Charlie Kirk at Utah Valley University. Our thoughts are with Charlie, his loved ones, and everyone affected. Agents will be on the scene quickly, and the FBI stands in full support of the ongoing response and the investigation." Charlie Kirk is a divisive figure, polarizing, lightning rod, whatever term you want to use. Why?
Well, he's one of MAGA's most prominent voices online. He hosts a near daily podcast. He opines on almost everything. He's been very closely aligned with the president since his initial run for office in 2015, 2016. And his ties to Trump really elevated his own brand. He was really quite young as an activist when the president launched his initial campaign. And he has kind of ridden along with MAGA since 2016 and built up a massive, massive brand of his own. His group has brought in tons and tons of money.
Yeah. That's why they hate him. Did you notice they couldn't actually point to anything divisive or awful or mean or inappropriate that Charlie says? No. Why is he controversial and divisive, as they put it? Because he's effective. That's why they hate him. How old is Charlie, Kevin? 30, 31, maybe?
I'll find out.
I want to say 32. I think I first met him when he was 26.
He's 31 years old.
Thank you. 31. Based on initial reports, we're told that his wife and children were in attendance when this happened. Those are the reports that we're getting. If you're just joining our live stream right now, we are asking for your prayers as about an hour ago, shots rang out at Utah Valley University while Charlie Kirk with Turning Point USA was before a throng of college students. He had just begun one of his American comeback college tours that he's doing right now as students come back to campus. He does these fall events and he tours the country and he rallies support and builds momentum for the youth conservative movement. Many observers accurately point to Charlie's efforts with a couple of other organizations as being responsible for the surge, specifically of young men who have voted for Donald Trump and have joined this conservative movement. And the movement has much more to do with just politics. It has to do with traditional values, encouraging monogamy, encouraging chastity before marriage, encouraging men to be men again, and to honor and treat women with respect, to get married, to start a family. This is what Charlie has preached and stood for, return to basic, traditional family values, American values. And yeah, that makes him a conservative Republican. Trust me, Charlie, as I've discussed with him in the past, would love for Democrats to embrace these ideas too. It shouldn't be political. But that's where we are in America in 2025. And well, he has been able to create a movement unlike any other that we have seen in decades in this country. I'm old enough to remember the Reagan youth movement and the young conservative movement. And listen, I love Young America's Foundation, and they're a great group too. And they have been there for decades building on the young conservative movement on our college campuses, but nothing has done in such a short time what Charlie Kirk has been able to accomplish with Turning Point USA. And people will say on MSNBC and CNN, like we just showed you, that he is divisive because of his ideas, that he is controversial, that he... No, there is no idea that Charlie Kirk has that is any different than the mainstream of the conservative Republican Party right now. The reason that he inspires so much hatred on the left is because he has won, because he is winning, because he is effective, because he's done a great job. And, when you're in an argument with somebody and they're hostile and they lose the argument and they can't win, and they've got no more ability to debate you because they're wrong and you've defeated them, well, they either walk away and live to fight another day, or they rethink their positions and maybe come around to your side of thinking, or they turn violent. We don't know the motives of the suspect who has been apprehended. All we know is this video footage immediately after the shooting. This is the person the police immediately took into custody and has been identified on social media. We don't know his name. We don't know anything else about him. But we know that he was brought into custody and apprehended immediately afterwards. He looks to be a white male, I would guess anywhere between 55 and 65 years old, maybe a little older. We wanted to jump on board here and start streaming just because, frankly, at times like this, you don't want to be alone. You want to be with your friends. You want to be with your family, and you want to share prayers. You want to share thoughts. And Kevin, if you don't mind, unless we've got some more breaking information, do we have anything new that we want to share? Let's take a quick moment and sort of bring in some of our viewers.
Sure. Before we do that, I do have one Fox clip right here.
Yeah, what do you got?
Details more about the actual incident of the shooting. I'm sending it your way right now.
Okay. Thank you. Stand by. We've got more details from Fox.
So let's start with this new statement from Utah Valley University. We had a speaker, Charlie Kirk, invited by a student group, Turning Point USA, speaking on campus today at noon. At about 12:20, shots were fired from a building about 200 yards from the speaker. Now, this is new. According to the best of our knowledge, the individual was hit and was taken away immediately by his security personnel. That individual, of course, is Charlie Kirk. Campus is closed for the rest of the day, and our campus police have a suspect in custody. So that is new information. 200 from a building, 200 yards from the shooter is the newest information from the university. And obviously, I want to bring in now.
All right, there you go. That's the latest. We do have it in custody. So it was around 12:20. That's Mountain Time, so 2:20 Eastern Time. So just a little over an hour ago. I want to remind you there are videos out there that show a little bit more of a graphic moment when those shots were fired, and you can see Charlie immediately fall to his left. Initial reports suggested that he was shot either in his neck. Jason Chaffetz, who was there, former congressman from Utah and now a Fox News analyst, said that he could potentially have been shot in his chest as well. He wasn't sure.
Larry?
Yeah.
I just want to reiterate to people that if you go looking for the video, you will regret it. It's very graphic.
Yeah, don't. There's no reason at this moment to do that. I want to give you Jason Chaffetz's firsthand account, eyewitness account. And we're not going to be showing that video here either. That's not what's happening here. So go somewhere else if that's what you're looking for. Don't be looking for it. Here's Jason Chaffetz's account, and then we're going to turn to some of your comments and some of your reactions here as we all virtually hold hands together and say our prayers for Charlie and for his health. And for God somehow to steer him through the dangers that he's in right now. This young man does not deserve to die at his young age. He has a lot of life ahead of him. He is a husband. He is a father of 2 little children. And he has done so much to help move this country back to where we need to be. And he's got a hell of a lot more ahead of him. So please, Lord, please protect him. Please see him through this danger. Let's keep those prayers going. Here's Jason Chaffetz once again.
Jason, we were reading some of your social media posts. You were there. You witnessed this. What happened?
Well, it's a good crowd. A lot of people were chanting his name. I was there. My daughter was there. Son-in-law's there. My wife was there. I mean, Charlie Kirk coming to town. We were excited, and people were there, and there were lots of them. And he came out. He was throwing hats, riling up the crowd. He took his first question which was I have to catch my breath trying to run into the house
Take
here.
your time.
He took a first question, which was a religious question, and then he got to the second question, which was about 30 minutes into his presentation, 2:30 local time, and the question was about transgender shooters, mass killings, versus people that weren't transgender. And when that happened, when that question came out, and he's going to have the interaction, one shot. I was watching Charlie. I can't say that I saw blood. I can't say that I saw him get hit, but I did see him fall immediately backwards into his left. And I can just hope and pray that somehow he survived that.
Oh my God, we're all praying. He's married to his.
You could hear the emotion in Jason Chaffetz's voice there. All right. I just want there's more clips from MSNBC and from CNN, but we're going to cut that off now. We're not going to do any more clips of them, calling him controversial and divisive and speculating about how Trump's going to use this. I made a judgment call because I think it's part of the story, and it's frankly what Charlie would have done if he were covering this story right now. Because you need to see their hatred. You need to see exactly, it's moments like this that show people exactly who you are, to tell you the truth. And editorial judgments are made at those networks. And so we wanted you to see that. But we won't be going back to that again. Let's just stick with what we know. Let's stick with how much we love Charlie and admire him for everything that he's done. You think about the people that he's brought into the movement, the young people who first heard about conservative ideas and principles, and how, all you hear when you're a college student on a college campus is about how America is awful and America is the problem, and how our capitalism and the free market economies are the scourge of the planet. And it all needs to be wiped out. And I mean, where do you think we get an Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez or a Zoran Mamdani? And suddenly Charlie shows up with his phenomenal appearances on college campuses, his huge events, star-studded events, and he starts making conservatism cool on campus. And suddenly he becomes equal time. Suddenly he starts saying, yeah, okay, there's another way. And these college kids would hear about these ideas and principles and values and an alternative to hating America and Marxism for the first time in their lives, in some respects. And look at the movement he creates. By the way, beyond that, which is obvious, that he was able to sort of give a lane to people to finally hear about pro-American ideas and conservative principles on a college campus for the first time in their lives. But he also provided something else. He provided an outlet and a sanctuary for those conservative kids who were outnumbered, who were shunned, who were dismissed, who were marginalized, who were discriminated against, who were told to shut up and sit down and stay in the corner because their voices, their ideas were not welcome in the hedonistic left-wing Marxist college campuses of America today. Charlie said, no, no, no. I've got a place for you. You have a voice here, and your voice is going to be heard, and it's going to be heard loudly. I will put you on a platform, and you're going to make a difference. And boy, oh boy, did he ever, and did those kids ever. And that cannot be overstated. The power of Charlie Kirk validating those conservative kids who left high school with whatever Christian, Judeo-Christian values they held dear in their hearts, and the conservative upbringing that their parents gave them, and then they're let out into the wilderness to a college campus where they are marginalized and they're told that they're freaks. And Charlie said, no, you're not freaks. They're the freaks. And Turning Point USA suddenly catches fire and has become, well, what it is right now. And those are all the reasons why he's dangerous. These are all the reasons why Charlie has become a lightning rod. And he knew that. He knew when he became a public figure that this would happen, but it was worth it to him. He knew that he would be vilified. He knew that he would be slandered. He knew that they would marginalize him and hate him. And it takes a lot of courage to be able to do what Charlie's been able to do and accomplish. It takes a lot of talent to be able to accomplish what he's accomplished as well. All right. I'm just blithering now.
Can I jump in here real quick?
Yeah,
Sorry.
come on in, Kevin. What have you got? Do you want to do some? Go ahead.
Well, there's a lot of conflicting reports. We're not able to confirm anything. There's some people saying that the worst has happened and some people saying that the best is happening right now. We don't know anything.
All right.
So just continue to keep Charlie and his family in your prayers.
Yeah, this is what happens at stories like this. And we try, we waited until we knew specifically, what we've told you right now. And then I assure you there will be multiple false reports over the course of the next hour or so. I'm sure that some broadcaster cable networks and some streaming platforms have already announced information as if it were fact that has been wrong. I'm getting text messages from my colleagues at Town Hall and some of the columnists that I know who are just beside themselves with anger and rage, as I am as well. I am bouncing between grief and fear and empathy for Charlie and his family and outrage, outright white hot rage at the climate that we are living in right now in this country. I'm going to set that aside for a minute because I don't need to go there. Let's get some of your prayers in here if we could, because that's what we really wanted to go live and get together here, because we don't want to be alone at moments like this. You shouldn't be alone. I shouldn't be alone. Christy Wallace, God be with our beloved Charlie Kirk. Amen to that. Christy, thank you for that. Melody, dear God, please heal your servant, Charlie Kirk. Yeah, he is a man of faith. Charlie has spoken recently about his faith, and I don't know if you have seen the exchanges that he's had with Michael Knowles. Michael, of course, a devout Catholic, and Charlie, a Protestant Christian, and they are brothers in Christ. And they actually have created, I think, a model for so many of us. I'm Catholic. I have dear friends who are Protestant Christians. I have dear friends who are Jewish. We all love God. We all love our Savior. Well, our Jewish friends too. But they'll get there. And Charlie's dialogue with Michael about their faith and about religion has been if you haven't seen it, you've got to watch it. It's really fantastic. Orlando Garcia, prayers for Charlie and his family. God bless. God, please help him pull through. Lisa 617 is so upset right now. Jesus, I love Charlie. Hang on, Charlie. Yeah, we're all pretty upset right now. Prayers for Charlie from Christian Solid. Cindy Mosenko says praying for Charlie. Praying for Charles from Scotland. Thank you, Karen Diker. We need worldwide prayers. We need all of that energy. We need all of the requests for intercession right now for Charlie's health and for Charlie's soul. Susan Knowles, God bless Charlie. Red Ron says, God help Charlie. Lisa Wolf, prayer for Charlie, his family, and all who are working on him. May God be with them all. Love and prayers. Thank you, Lisa. Please, Lord, please guide the hands of the medical professionals who have Charlie in their care right now. Please, Lord, through your incredible intercession, you have been able to grace humankind with medical knowledge and skills that can work your miracles. So please keep their hands steady, keep them wise, and help them bring your love and your grace and your miracles to Charlie when he needs it most. Please, Lord. Amen. Scott Mitchell praying for Charlie. We all are, Scott. And Shanda Conboy. God save Charlie. All right. For those of you who are just joining us now, thank you, Matthew. And keep the prayers coming, please. Let me give you a quick reset here. At 20 minutes after 12 Mountain Time, 20 minutes after 2 Eastern Time, at an event, a Turning Point USA event at Utah Valley University, Charlie Kirk was shot by a lone gunman, it appears. This is what the police reports have given us right now. There was a lone gunman. Shots rang out. Eyewitnesses at the event say that Charlie immediately fell to his left. We are told that he was injured in his neck. Those were the immediate reports. And has that been confirmed yet, Kevin, that the wound is to his neck, is through his throat?
Yes.
That is confirmed. Thank you.
I mean, just, yeah.
Based on, yeah, I understand. It hasn't been confirmed by officials, but based on visual evidence of some of the video footage that is out there, right?
That's right.
Thank you. He was immediately evacuated from the area by his security and campus security, and he was taken to hospital where he continues to be under care right now. That's all we know. Everything else is speculation. Everything else is speculation. Here's how Fox News reported at the moment that they went on with the breaking story.
I just started getting word just a couple of moments ago that Charlie Kirk has been shot. We have very few details so far coming in on this. We're dependent on witnesses. Okay. Utah Valley University. And he was speaking in front of a crowd. And in that moment, and correct me if I'm wrong, he was speaking about obviously trans issues in the country today. When a shot or shots rang out, and we can now confirm via Jason Chaffetz, who was at the event at Utah Valley University, that shots rang out as Charlie was talking about transgender mass shootings. Per Jason Chaffetz, a witness there, says he can't say that he saw blood, but he saw him get, he can't say also that he saw him get shot, but he did hear the gunshot ring out, and he was watching Charlie, and then he fell back and to the left.
All right. That was the original report that we had. We also had a notice from Utah Senator Mike Lee about this event, and I'm sure that all of the politicians from Utah in particular are plugged in on this and trying to stay on top of it. We also had a statement from President Donald Trump about half an hour after the story broke, asking for prayers for Charlie Kirk and calling him a great guy from top to bottom. I want to come back to the video of Charlie throwing out hats to the crowd. This was shared on social media. This is literally about 5 minutes before the incident occurred. After throwing out all the hats to the crowd, look at the size of the crowd. After throwing out the hats to the crowd, Charlie took his place there in the tent area on that chair that you can see right there. Hang on, I'll show you in a second. I just like seeing him with such joy and excitement for the crowd there. If you look at the tent area, right there, there's a gray chair right behind this 47 hat that I'm pointing at with my cursor. That chair right there is where Charlie sat with the microphone and started speaking and engaging with the audience. And if you've seen these events, you see that the students often come up. There's an open mic, and a lot of people ask questions, or they, want to express their support for Charlie, and sort of, they give their testimony about how Charlie has changed their life and how Charlie has brought, them into a full understanding of how great America is and what our principles are and what works in this country. as opposed to the, America hatred and Marxism that they hear sadly in our public schools and in the mass media, in the pop culture. And oftentimes people will come up and challenge Charlie, and they're awful and they're rude and they're disgusting because they want to go viral and whatever. Charlie has always been able to deal with it with aplomb and good humor, and with facts and with arguments that are not even debatable. That's what has made Charlie so good at this, that he takes all comers and they challenge him, and he's got facts at his disposal that he just throws right back at his challengers. And he ends the debate because he's right, because we're right, because we have the facts and truth on our side. That was the event as it began. And as you just heard from the report, the first question, Jason Chaffetz gave a report. He was there at the event, former Congressman Chaffetz, and he said that the first question had to do with faith, and the second question had to do with the string of transgender violence that we've seen. And then right after that question was answered, that's when the shots rang out. There's no indication that the violence was connected to that topic in particular. We don't know the motive. And we won't speculate about it until we have facts. I know that's not quite how this is done if you're on a cable network or a broadcast network. Chaffetz now, we've got more. All right, we've got a new video from Jason Chaffetz on Fox News from just 8 minutes ago. Here. Spinning wheel of death. Hang on, let me reload it. Take it off screen if you can. Kev, thanks. I'll reload and then get it ready for you. Nope, we need a better player. Sorry, that one's not going to roll. As soon as we get another one, we'll get it to you. Sorry about that. But I do want to show it to you because it's a good little clip.
Give me 2 minutes and I'll have it for you.
Thanks, Kevin. I appreciate it. Red Ron, we don't have any updates on his condition. We're tapped into that feed, but we don't have it. All we know is that he is getting medical care and he was critically wounded based on observations of the video that some of us have seen, and also from the hospital. I believe critical condition is the status that the hospital has delivered. That's all we know. And we're not going to speculate, and we're not going to give any guesses here. We do want companionship right now. I know that you do too. Nobody should be alone right now. And we are one family here on this channel. And we wanted to be able to be together at this time, to be able to sort of commiserate and to pray together. Here we go. I've got the video for you now. Stand by. Here's Chaffetz just moments ago on Fox News. Here you go.
He's one of a kind. I mean, I really thought that years from now we'd be saying, yeah, President Charlie Kirk, because for a generation, nobody speaks to them like he does. He has built a coalition, and it's based on policy and argument, and it's based on a belief and challenging people. And he was stimulating a younger generation who wasn't getting it in the classroom. He was getting it online, and he was getting it going on television and doing on-campus things. I've been to a couple of his on-campus, and he literally will sit there and answer questions from anybody.
Yeah, and it's one of the things that we loved about his interactions and his engagements with young voters. And it's, I think, what drew so many people. There wasn't any pretense there, and there wasn't any sort of, I'm sorry, and you know what, Jason Chaffetz just did it too, and we are not speaking in past tense right now because the worst has happened. We don't know that, and we are praying, and I still remain hopeful that Charlie's going to be all right. If we're using past tense, we are only talking about Charlie's what Charlie has been able to accomplish in the past. Okay. So please, and I noticed Congressman Chaffetz was doing the same thing and speaking about him in past tense, but there's no past tense going on here. Charlie is with us, and we believe that our prayers are going to be able to help him through this. I only use past tense in that his actions were in the past. I apologize. But it's something that is so engaging about how he has no pretense, he has no filter, he has no cushion. He doesn't try to wrap himself up in bubble wrap and only have the pre-programmed and scripted sort of thing. It's what makes his podcast and his radio show so immediate and so real, and his public appearances so engaging. You know, it's okay to be angry. It's okay to be angry right now. But I beg you to have your energy spent more toward being positive and hopeful. And there is going to be plenty of time to be angry. And if you're not feeling anger, there's something wrong with you. But right now, whatever energy you've got in your body, whatever voice you're hearing right now, telling you to be enraged, stop it just for a minute and refocus it on the Lord. Refocus it on humility and charity and love. And try to get your prayers focused in that direction for Charlie and for his family. Whatever happens today, there will be time in the future for anger, righteous anger. But today, let's ask for grace. Let's ask for Charlie to be healed. Please. All right. I think it's going to be a while until we can get any sort of final report on Charlie's condition. We wanted to share this news with you as soon as we had it, and whatever details we could give you. And I think we've reached the limit of that. And rather than be like a cable news station where they just ramble on meaninglessly, uselessly and meaninglessly, and deliver hollow speculation and guesswork, we're not going to do that. We're not going to become that. So we would rather just wrap up now. If there are more further developments, depending on what happens and how big they are and what state of mind we're in, we may come back again later tonight and join you live so we can be together one way or the other. But until then, let's continue the prayers going, please. Do whatever you can to focus your energies to lift Charlie up to the Lord right now and protect him and protect his family and see him through this. The evil one does not have to win every fight. We know how this story ends. We've read the book. We're going to win in the end, and we can win today. But it is God's will. It will be done either way. We are together on this. And whatever you can do to deliver as many prayers from you and from your family and from your loved ones for Charlie's protection and health and safety now, please do so. And we will be back tomorrow at our regular time. And hopefully we'll have great news to talk about. Thank you for jumping on with us here. Appreciate it. And God bless each and every one of you. Thanks.